Good afternoon and welcome back to where I finished Game 5 of the 1971 quarterfinals. And let's see. Minnesota goes up 3-2 on St. Louis with that win today. New York, New York is now up 3-2 on Toronto. Boston is up 3-2 on Montreal. Game 6, could Boston do something they haven't done since 1943 and beat Montreal in the playoffs? Stay tuned. Although I think we know. It's like, those are the 3 games. It's like, well, you're missing one. Well, it's not my fault Chicago swept Philadelphia 4 straight. Yeah, Game 4 was on Sundays. I forgot to mention something about that. So Game 4 on Sunday because I clearly wasn't with it. So yeah, Chicago is already into the semifinals. They're waiting for the winner of the New York-Toronto series. Meanwhile, the winner of the Boston-Montreal series will play the winner of the St. Louis-Minnesota series. So how's that? Yeah, I told you they changed the format. Because of 3 straight lackluster Stanley Cup finals, NHL thought, yeah, we don't like that. Yeah, well, just wait till we get to 18 teams in 70 for the 74-75 season, and they change the format again. We have all the division winners going to the second, having to bye into the second round, into the quarters, and the remaining 8 teams that are in the playoffs ends up having to play a best-of-3 preliminary round. Because there were some years with this, let's say, second-place team in one division ends up having more points than, let's say, the division winner, let's say the Smythe. Because there's a few the new Smythe division. Because there's a few years in there the Smythe division was the weakest division. It's usually Chicago that won the division. But we'll find out how often it was Chicago. Barry had a above 500 record and they ended up winning the division because the other 3 teams were just as bad. And then there's a team like, say, LA, who finished second behind Montreal. And then, let's say, have 105 points. And they have to play a best-of-3 preliminary round because they didn't win their division. Even though they had more points than, let's say, an 80-point Chicago team. Yeah, every playoff format has some sort of flaw. Then 80 and 81, they had 1 versus 16, 2 versus 15, 3 versus 14, which wasn't too bad. Where points did matter, and there's a few teams that made the postseason then it sucked. And then you had the divisional playoffs. You had 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3 from like 82 to 93. And some of the teams in the 80s, like LA or Toronto, would have like 55 points and still made the playoffs because the team that finished last had a worse record. Yeah, you could like play crappy hockey and still make the playoffs. And they usually get knocked out in the first or second round. Unless they're the 1991 Minnesota North Stars. Got into the playoffs, sub 500 record. Got to the Stanley Cup Finals and ended up losing to Pittsburgh. I mean, really, who saw that coming? Maybe the fans of Minnesota. Nobody else did. So yeah. And then they went 1 versus 8, 2 versus 7 for each conference for the longest of time. Which is an alright format. But you could have a team that's ninth in one conference have more points than the team that was finished 7th or 8th in the other conference. It's like, yeah. Yeah, like I said, there's always flaws in every playoff format, so. Anyways, I think I got it. Now, where did it go? Way over here. Set this up. And, okay, here we go. Quotable note for $200 was yesterday's Jeopardy category, and yesterday's Jeopardy clue had F. Scott Fitzgerald warned that using this punctuation mark is like laughing at your own joke. Question: what is an exclamation point? There you go. Today's quotable notes for $600. Answer: from this place, George Washington wrote his soldiers were unfit for duty because they were barefoot and otherwise naked. I don't know. The Delaware River? Yeah, and I don't know. You got me. Yeah, my guess is probably going to be a losing guess, but... yeah, so... there's today. There's today. There may be another video somewhere tonight. Possibly. Maybe. Don't hold me to that, because even I don't know yet. But anyways, until next time, in the meantime, and in between time, stay tuned.